There we go. Welcome everyone then to game number 1 in this best of 5 Showmatch series between Mr. Yo and Vinchester. For those who might not be aware, both these players made it through the first qualifier, the main qualifier, to participate in the LAN event, in the LAN tournament. However, due to one reason or another, Vinchester and Mr. Yo in the end won't be able to attend the event. They tried, they couldn't get what they needed to go. And yeah, they are going to be playing a show match over here as a result for some prize money. And in their place, instead, we are going to have the players who made it through the replacement qualifier. And if you're watching this on YouTube, the last video from the replacement qualifier went out yesterday. So if you've been keeping track of that, you will know exactly who moves on to the main event to fill in for both these players. If you haven't, go and take a look because the games were very, very good. I can especially recommend the set between MBL and Jordan. Regardless though, for civilizations, Mr. Yo is playing with Cumans up in the north, Vinchester is playing with Bulgarians towards the southwest. And taking a look at Mr. Yo's civilization first, is going to have the ability to go for a second TC in the fuel age. He's going to have the ability to go for siege workshops in the fuel age, from where he can train battering rams. He also will get access to the captain ram upgrade in the castle age, and he gets a 75 with discount on stables and archer ranges. Now they are playing in the current patch, so unlike the replacement qualifier games, which were played in the previous patch, this one instead is going to have all the latest changes. For Cumans and Bulgarians, I don't remember that anything changed for these civilizations. So let's take a look at Vinchester's civ of choice. And for Bulgarians, well, we're going to have access to Krepos. They're going to have also a 50% stone discount, on TCs. And for Bulgarians, we also get free militia line upgrades. So Minotaurs, Lone Swords, and 200 Swordsmen are researched for free as soon as you get to the Feudal Castle and Imperial Ages. And they also have a 50% food discount on blacksmiths and university upgrades, in addition to the team bonus, which will give them extra HP on palisade walls. Now, the scout over here from Vinchester is already taking a little bit of damage, getting dented by the boxing gloves of the villagers. And take a look at this. This is what I was talking about. Take a look at Mr. Yo's vision. He does not have the vision of the sheep. If you take a look at Vinchester, Vinchester has vision with the sheep. He's got a little bit of extra vision compared to Mr. Yo. Yeah. You cannot collect these. You can only convert these and potentially utilize them for vision. So you can see that Vinchester is already trying to take the sheep away. Get out of here, man. He's not interested in giving away the sheep, of course. It does make a big difference. So this adds another layer of micro for the players to worry about. So fuel age is here ready for Mr. Yo. He's going to be the first one to get there. He's on 18 workers, and the archer range is already coming up. So the sheep do not give food over here, no. You cannot harvest these either. You can only use them for vision. Besides that, if we take a look at the map generation, it's going to be pretty standard for the most part. The players are in a little bit of an elevated area. If we take a look at Vinchester, he's got the main goal forward, he's got the secondary goals in the back over here. Seems to be pretty similar to what we have for the bull player as well. We have the main goal forward for Mr. Yo and the 2 secondary goals on the back. Around the TCs and around the center area, terrain goes lower in elevation, so you definitely want to hold on to your starting position and don't want to get displaced around the edges of the map, because that's going to put you at a great disadvantage. There we go. Minotaur's already here for Vinchester. We were expecting him to make a play for this. He's gonna try to break through, and he might be able to do it! Not quite! Not quite! Mr. Yo is paying attention 100%. Vinchester is gonna have to bail from here. Second TC is coming up now for Mr. Yo. There you are. And so far, it's been pretty difficult for Vinchester to get anything done with these Minotaurs. Yeah, Vinchester's done a really good job over here keeping possession of the sheep over there, so he's going to be the only player with vision around the center. Interestingly enough, he already spotted because of this. Oh, we might see a sheep over there get converted. Not quite. He already spotted because of it. The gold miners over here from Mr. Yo, and that's why we saw him go for the Minotaur's push. In the end, he's unable to get too much done of anything, and back home, well, he's not really going for much else other than the Minotaurs. We have two skirmishers over here. Obviously, these are going to be defensive units. He's expecting to defend himself against Mr. Yo's archers. And that's going to be about it. So this is actually putting Mr. Yo in a very good spot. When you're playing Kumans and you go for the second TC, you want your opponent to be spending time in the village because that's going to maximize your ability to get ahead in economy. If your opponent was going for a fast castle and then potentially going for full military pressure or potentially extra TCs, depending on how fast they were going out to the castle age, that kind of allows them to catch up a little bit. Especially pressure, not so much extra TCs, but because Vinchester is spending a lot of extra time over here in the village compared to what he would have if he had just tried to fast castle, then Mr. Yo is actually able to start taking advantage of the second TC a little bit more, start getting ahead a little bit more as well. And Vinchester is gonna struggle to keep up and catch up eventually once he gets to the castle age, but we'll see. He's getting very close right now, and the difference is not too big. Of course, if Mr. Yo is able to keep both TCs working and Vinchester clicks out to the castle age now, Mr. Yo should be able to get ahead by 12 extra villagers at the very least. He already has a 4-worker lead, so that should amount to about 16 extra workers, assuming that he doesn't stop to go for wheelbarrow. Is that late for the second TC? Nah, it's fine. Second TC takes forever to build. 1 minute early, 1 minute later. It doesn't really matter too much. And you know, the big scheme of things. And there we go, the Minotaurs should get cleaned up over here in the end. Mr. Yo's unit control is very good. He prevents losing the archer, and then on the right hand side, he prevents losing these archers. He's using the scout to go after the skirmishers, and there we go. Vinchester is on his way to the castle age as we were expecting, but Mr. Yo has already gotten ahead by 6 workers, so Vinchester should fall behind by about 17 to 18 workers compared to Mr. Yo, and by the time Vinchester gets to the castle age, Mr. Yo is going to have a strong enough economy to click up to the castle age himself very soon as well, so he should be able to keep up, right, if Mr. Yo goes up before Vinchester is able to catch up for worker count. And the bull player will be able to add a potentially 3rd TC and catch up in the case Vinchester does go for 2 extra TCs. In my opinion, the red player is in a pretty precarious position over here. I think the better way for him to go about this would be to get to the castle age and try to go forward and put aggression for that. I definitely would like that he went for stone and then potentially went for a 4 crepos. Now, if we take a look at the resource view, you will notice that we don't have any stone around the upper area, so around the starting location of the TCs. Instead, they're gonna have to go around the map and collect stone from lower elevation areas. So you can see that the stone is over here on the slope between the lowest and the first level of elevation around the outer part of the map. And yeah, that's basically where you're going to find all the stone. Vinchester, well, he's not really been going for it. He's got a stable instead. He's gonna try and put pressure with knights, which is not bad, of course, but against UTC it's gonna be pretty rough. And there we go, Mr. Yo's going up already to the castle age. He does not get the 18 villager lead that I was talking about, and there is a reason for that. Take a look at the adult TC time. Mr. Yo has gone up by about 1 minute and 40 seconds in that, so that's gonna be worth about 4 villagers, right? Otherwise, he's ahead by 13 workers. And he's going for the Castle Age. He's going for Wheelbarrow. And Vinchester. Vinchester's got the first knight coming out. It's got double stables over here. The 4 siege workshops coming up as well. Beautiful. It matters in the sense that it also determines when you can go up the castle. Yeah, he should have gotten ahead by 12 extra villagers compared to the amount of villagers that the players had by the time Vinchester clicked up to the castle age. So that was going to be about 18 because of the existing villager lead by the time Vinchester clicked up, but because Mr. Yo idled the TC. And that goes also to what you were talking about too. He had to idle the TC in order to go up to the castle age a little bit earlier, otherwise he would have been further ahead in villager count, but he would have been later to the castle age. So that is a good point. And Mr. Yo mitigates it by idling the TC. In the end, he gets to the castle age and still retains a 10 worker lead. Now it's going to be a matter of how well he's able to defend against Mr. Yo's pressure, Vinchester's pressure. And Mr. Yo is still looking alright. He has not taken too many losses just yet. We're gonna see though. Another villager goes down over here. The camels are coming over, but the villager goes down. And Mr. Yo sending villagers over the left hand side. What is this? Because of the camels, those villagers will survive for the most part. Otherwise, yeah, no chance. Mr. Yo's bringing the villagers back. Do we have any weak vills over here for Vinchester to try and hero snipe? Not quite. And the camel defense from Mr. Yo is strong. Vinchester ends up losing the mantle over here. And these are losses that Vinchester cannot really take. And this is really good for Mr. Yo. We're gonna see a village go down over here from Vinchester. And the red player is only now going for the second TC. And this just seems so little, so late. What is the problem for the red player? Mr. Yo has already been ahead in worker count since the players were in the fuel age. By going out to the castle age faster than Mr. Yo, but failing to do any damage over here, Vinchester kind of finds himself at a great disadvantage because from this point onwards, you can see that the military count is kind of comparable between both these players. Mr. Yo is going to have a stronger economy to go for military, and he should be able to defend himself after all playing defensive. It's going to be easier. Camels are going to be cheaper than the knights, for instance, right? And yeah, it doesn't seem like the red player is going to be able to catch up in worker count anytime soon. And even if it did, because Mr. Yo has had the worker lead for such a long time, he should be ahead in economy. And he is. Right now he's got 16 extra minutes of gather economy time. And of course that's going to keep on increasing the longer the game goes because of the extra villagers. So the 30C is even on the way now for Mr. Yo. And Vinchester, well, Vinchester cannot try to catch up in economy over here. That's gonna be trying to catch up against a moving target. Instead, in my opinion, pressure is definitely the way to go. Unfortunately, it's not really worked out for him so far, so it's not been great, and I don't want to go as far as to say I don't think there is a way for Vinchester to come back over here. He could still find some exposed economy from Mr. Yo. He could still get some picks over here and try to catch up like that. Trying to catch up just by villager production, of course, is not going to work. So he needs to keep pressure up and not give up. 30C and 40C is coming up for Vinchester. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo is going for a counter raid. And Vinchester's reaction is non-existent over here. This is so bad. He cannot afford to take these losses. His economy is already smaller. If he loses villagers over here, oh man, that's just going to hurt so much. Common camels don't scale well in Imperial Age, so there's a bit of hope there. I mean, if he can get to the Imperial Age, perhaps, maybe. Yeah, but that's already kind of rough from Vinchester's current position. You can see how by the minute Mr. Yo keeps on increasing his lead. Military count now about 3-2 in favor of Mr. Yo and Vinchester. He did add the third and fourth ECs, but this is once again, in my opinion, too expensive for him to keep up with, and honestly is not really going to allow him to catch up because Mr. Yo has already had the stronger economy for a long time. Vinchester is spending the fewer resources he has collected so far into extra TCs and the infrastructure he needs to keep production from these TCs, and that simply cuts into the amount of resources he would have been able to invest into military pressure instead. So that gives Mr. Yo the opportunity coming forward and getting 2 additional villages underneath TC from Vinchester. Coming forward with extra knights over here on the right hand side. Vinchester will be able to defend against these with monks. However, there are extra knights coming over, and that one monk has gone down to the knights. We still have 2 left over here. Mr. Yo plays his cards right. Might be able to take the monks over here without taking any losses to conversions. Let's take a look. See the conversions coming up over there. Good pathing for Mr. Yo. Where are the rest of the knights? He's bringing these over, but he's not going to target the monks yet. And from this point, kind of looks a little bit like a landslide. Mr. Yo is just going to keep on snowballing his lead, and Vinchester is going to keep on trying because he's not dead. But we see Mr. Yo is in a much better position over here, and if he takes advantage of this properly, then he should be the one to take game number 1. We'll see though. More villages going down, and Vinchester's not paying attention. Oh man, that's gonna hurt so much. 17 villages have gone down from Vinchester so far. He goes on to call the GG. Yeah, you gotta know, right? You take a look at the score over here, and if you're in Vinchester's position, you got a feeling for it. You know, you've been losing villagers left, right, and center. You have spent a lot of resources trying to go for extra economy, and you've been so far unable to really get your villager count up. So Mr. Yo is going to be the one to take game number 1. This is the best of 5 show match. So we will have at the very least 2 more games. So Mr. Yo 1, Vinchester 0. Let's go through the achievements. First off, for military, we have a stronger economy. Sorry, a stronger KD for Mr. Yo. I've been saying this for a while. Go to the military tab and talk about economy. Yeah, it's going to be a better KD for Mr. Yo for sure. Better than 3, 2, 1. And now for economy, for realsies, would you have a stronger economy for Mr. Yo? And check that out. That's going to be 3,500 extra resources for the bull player. So far. For society, we have about 90 workers over here for Mr. Yo, compared to 70. Villager max count over here for Vinchester, and in the end, Vinchester was the one losing the most, right? 18 workers over here going down, compared to only 2 from Mr. Yo. Well played. And welcome everyone then to game number 2. The venue for this match is going to be Arena. We have Mr. Yo playing in the northeast. We have Vinchester playing in the southwest. And for civilizations, we actually do not get Poles for Vinchester, no. He's got Britons. And we do not get Bohemians for Mr. Yo. He's got Turks. It's gonna be Turks and Britons for both these players. Let's start with the northeast player, the blue player over here, Mr. Yo. We'll see, first off for Turks, 25% faster working gold miners. 5% extra HP on gunpowder units, as well as light cavalry and hussar upgrades for free. 1 extra pierce armor on those units. Scout cavalry type units. And in addition to that, we have free chemistry for Turks, as well as a 50% discount on gunpowder upgrades. Meanwhile, for Vinchester instead, taking a look at Britons, we're going to see that... Oh, by the way, the team bonus for Mr. Yo is going to be 25% faster training gunpowder units. For Vinchester, on the other hand, we'll see with Britons, 25% faster working shepherds. Then in addition to that, we're going to have for the red player civilization 1 and 2 extra range on foot archer units in the castle and imperial ages, except for skirmishers. And then on top of that, We'll see that Britons will also have a 50% wood discount on TC starting in the Castle Age. Fantastic. And then for the team bonus, 20% faster working archer ranges. Now, we saw earlier already, Britons oftentimes on Arena. The way it usually goes is you're going to see archers come out while they go up to the Castle Age. That's going to turn into crossbows to try and get some map control. And eventually, they're going to try and make a play for Lombos. And Halberdier. It's very strong, usually. Potentially Trebuchets with Werewolf as well. That's going to be very nice as well. And Mr. Yo with Turks. He's going to have a few choices, right? He can fast Castle Drop, go for Janissaries. He can fast Imp into Hand Cannoneer, Bombard Cannon. He can potentially just play for full economy and then play towards Cavalry Archers in the late game, for instance. Let's take a look. Vinchester and Mr. Yo, they are both going up to the Fuel Age. Vinchester a little bit later. And that's about it. It looks quite in favor of Vinchester, no? I would say so, yes. Let's take a look at the map generation for both these players. Starting with Mr. Yo. We're gonna have a main goal forward. We're gonna have a main stone forward. This stone actually is very, very close to the wall, so it could potentially get scouted from outside. Secondary goal and the main goal inside the walls are going to be too far to get spotted, and this stone is very unlikely to influence the location of a potential castle drop from Vinchester, although I don't think that's what we're going to see from the red player, but still. Instead, it's probably just going to be defined by the resources outside, right? So if Vinchester was to get map control, he would probably try, if he were to ever go for a castle, to go for something around this area, perhaps. Oops. There we go. So he'll be able to deny these resources or secure them for himself, right? If we take a look at the map generation for Vinchester, on the other hand, we'll see that the red player, he's got the main goal on the back. That is beautiful. Secondary goal is going to be towards the north, and then the other secondary goal is, of course, outside. This goal is within scouting range of the scout, so we'll see if Mr. Yo plays the scouts right over here. Let me take a look at the scout and information. Yeah, he hasn't scouted inside the walls yet, but he should be able to see this goal. And that could potentially influence where he would go for a castle, potentially the blue player, if he was to go for a castle drop. And he saw the goal over here, he will probably end up going for one over here, so he will also be able to deny this stone, right? Of course, I think probably it'll be better if he gets vision of this stone, which is also close to the walls. It'll be better for him to probably go for a castle around here instead, blocking the gate. And then denying two stones in a secondary goal, as opposed to just this two on the left-hand side. As for the relic, and let's take a look at that before the players get to the Castle Age. For the relics, we will see indeed that Vinchester is in a little bit of a better spot, right? We have 1, 2, 3 relics that are closer to his base compared to one relic only that is closer to Mr. Yo's base. And this one is going to be technically closer to Mr. Yo's base, but it's also... It's kind of closer to the center too, so it's kind of contested a little bit. I guess we could say the same over here for this one on the left-hand side, perhaps. But definitely they are both going to favor different players. This one, Mr. Yo, this one, Vinchester. And interestingly enough, I was expecting Mr. Yo to be the one to go for Scout to see he was going to get a light cavalry upgrade for free. But he's not. He's gone for a market and the blacksmith, very standard over here. For probably any other civilization except for Turks and Vinchester. Vinchester's been the one to go for scouts, but I was expecting him to make a play for archers. So yeah, for scouts already out for Vinchester. He's got great map presence. You take a look at the line of sight of these scouts, and if they are to scout around the walls, they are going to spot the stone over here. Once again, I don't think it's going to matter. And notice this. These arena generations, you see the difference in terrain type over here for the bull player. This division, right? You can see a layered terrain over here with leaves and grass. is going to be beyond the line of sight of a scout, even in the castle age. So it's actually one tile further away. There we go, like that. Right next to the goal, right? And you can see that they cannot see beyond this range. So only the grass. Fake Vinchester, no trash. Yeah. We have like cavalry now for Mr. Yo, of course. He's got just the starting scout, so he most likely won't be able to achieve much of anything. Meanwhile, back home, we'll see that Vinchester already collected the first relic. That was just outside the gate. And it's interesting to see him, especially with so many scouts, to go for the safest relics first, as opposed to try and make a play for the 4 ones. Okay, Mr. Yo's collecting this one, and Vinchester. If we take a look at the red player's point of view, he should have known about the relic. He should have kept a scout over there. He didn't do it, and in the end, he's gonna allow Mr. Yo to get a relic. It probably isn't too bad. It doesn't really hurt that much, honestly. Because so long as Mr. Yo is unable to collect this one in any case. And who's getting there faster? You gotta... This is a... the units move faster horizontally. Not faster, but they look like they move faster horizontally. So over there, Mr. Yo seemed to be farther away. But because of the perspective, you can see that that Vinchester's unit took longer to get to the relic in the end. Mr. Yo is going to collect this one. I was going to say, so long as Vinchester collects this relic, then it should be 4 relics for him. But now in the end, it's going to be 3-2. Yeah, and getting 2 relics without having spent the resources, you know, to go for any scouts, to get any map presence. It's actually really nice for Mr. Yo. Vinchester spent a lot of his economy trying to get the scouts out and whatnot. Mr. Yo instead, just focusing on economy. Second and third TC's already up, and he's gonna take the small wins, you know. 2 relics is actually going to be maybe not that small for him, all things considered. Do not believe in Yo strat, but this is nuts. Well, I didn't really have too much faith in Mr. Yo's approach to this game, to be honest, but yeah, getting 2 relics over here is pretty good. Yeah, this is not the best matchup for Turks. But we have seen already unfavorable matchups going in favor of the player with a unfavored civilization in the matchup. We could see it again. We'll wait and see. Mr. Yo seems to be making a play for full economy over here, and a more standard late game as opposed to going for any weird shenanigans, any fast imp, or castle drop into Janissaries instead. And Vinchester, well, Vinchester has also been making a play for economy. He's been able to keep up with rocket count for the most part against Mr. Yo, and he's gonna be the first player to get enough resources to go out to the Imperial Age. There we are. 40C is there for Mr. Yo. Vinchester will be the first player to go up to the Imperial Age, and he's starting to collect stone quite heavily, so we will see the castles come up. Both these players already have a pretty good idea what the map is looking like, because Vinchester's got the most map control, the most map presence because of the scouts still out. I would definitely expect Vinchester to try and make a play for a 4 castle, probably around here, right? If he's keeping track of score and he realizes Mr. Yo is not going out to the Imperial Age anytime soon, going for something like this would actually be pretty good. He can go for it beyond the range or the line of sight of Mr. Yo, just so that he denies these extra resources in the future. And then he can go for extra castles for the back to defend these extra resources, to defend his economy, potentially. We'll see. Could be the other way around. He could go for the more defensive one first, then for the next one. But it seems like he's going to be an offensive one first. Oh, he's going to go further forward. Hail B. I'll prefer Britons over Turks, to be honest. I would probably 2 as well. But we'll see. With Longbows, Trebuchets, with Werewolf. So long as you have a castle to protect your Trebuchets with as well, you don't have to move the units around. Should be pretty good. But they're going to be kind of anchored to it because artillery bombard cannons are still going to be pretty long range. Not quite as much as a Trebuchet, of course. But if you don't have the ability to micro your Trebuchet, well, that could be rough if you don't have something to protect it with. And then Mr. Yo, what is he going to make a play for over here? He's got a stable on the way. He's got more than one stable on the way, actually. I was going to suggest perhaps the cavalry archer over here, but instead, especially as of the latest patch, the cavalry archer have actually gotten, I believe, they get a little bit of a better matchup against spear line units now, right? They get extra damage against spear line units. If I'm not mistaken, they got buffed a little bit, so it's probably what I would have been expecting, but instead we have double stables over here. Law lines. Husbandry is coming up. Siege workshop. We already have longbows over here, and they are so good. That castle is getting delayed. Not necessarily night. And wow, that is a second fort castle for Vinchester. So I was not expecting this necessarily. I thought I was going to go for one a little bit further back. Well, let's take a look. There we go. Yeah, good snipes over here. Good pressure from Mr. Vinchester and Mr. Yo. Struggling. Well, Vinchester's pressure over here is starting to get up to very uncomfortable levels for Mr. Yo to defend against. While Vinchester, well, he's got the first trebuchet out and he's got 2 additional trebuchets on the way. Mr. Yo has now gotten to the Imperial Age and he's got the first trebuchet on the way, but he already got a bombard cannon out. Vinchester's got chemistry on the way. Right now, he's not gotten Werewolf. That's something we're gonna see in later stages. Fantastic. Third trebuchet comes out over here for Vinchester. This castle's going down. Very soon, so it seems, from Mr. Yo. He's got 2 bombard cannons to work with. These do not have artillery yet. And if the castle crumbles, they won't ever get it, so long as Mr. Yo is castle-less. There we go. Fantastic. The castle down then, Mr. Yo, well, he's only going to have TCs to defend himself with. Starting to make a play for Hussar. And Vinchester. Vinchester's got pikemen already. He's got forging on the way. He's not gone for half of the year. Doesn't have the resources for it yet. There we go. Here come the Hussar. We're gonna see one of the trebuchets go down for sure. The pikemen are coming over though. And we'll still have 2 castles to provide defenses in the end. While the trebuchets get cleaned up over here, Mr. Yo is able to buy himself a little bit of extra time, and he might actually might be able to get some good damage over here, taking the villagers down. Longbows are not in great enough numbers to hold on against this. Well, they're going to survive, but of course Mr. Yo shouldn't struggle to replenish his Hussar, potentially go for a second push very soon. You can see there is a second wave of Hussar coming in. Meanwhile, Vinchester is losing one of the castles. He's got a limited amount of longbows over here to work with, especially with 1 castle left over here. It's going to be a little bit of a struggle. Oh, he did go for another castle on the left-hand side. He just finished building it, though. So he's right back up to 2 castles, and now Mr. Yo is trying to get another castle out that Vinchester is going to be aware of right away. Let's take a look at this. We have Bracer already. So these guys are already chain range. However, we do not have Yeoman. We do not have Elite Lombos. Just trying to go after the Bombard Cannons. It's going to be a struggle for him, of course. The Trebuchets are coming up from Vinchester. Once again, he's going to try and take the castle down this time around. Mr. Yo already managed to get a Trebuchet out, and he's got some Bombard Cannons still alive. So unlike before, when Vinchester had gotten to the Imperial Age first and he had momentum, he had the head start in Trebuchet production. This time around, he's actually playing catch up against Mr. Yo, and the defense for the Bull player has been really good overall. He's got two groups of armies. However, Vinchester, both are going to be Hussar, right? However, Vinchester has finally gotten the Halberdier upgrade. And now he should be able to protect the Trebuchets. He does end up taking one trip down already. And take a look at this. He's already gotten Warwolf. And the Trebuchets are so much stronger. These units are like insanely long range Bombard Cannons in a sense. Because how much damage they can deal. In the end, Bombard Cannons end up taking the Trebuchet down, but they do end up going down to the Lombos. And it seems like this castle is still under a lot of pressure. Mr. Yo is still on the back foot. Well, it seemed as if he was going to be able to catch up over here or potentially put himself in a leading position. Now Vinchester has managed to hold on to his forward position. He's still looking stronger. Bracer is coming in for Mr. Yo. We have ballistics now for Vinchester. Yes. Next Trebuchets are on the way for the red player as well. And because of Warwolf, then Mr. Yo is going to struggle now to make anything work. So long as Vinchester keeps the castle up over here, that's going to provide protection to the Trebuchets. Plus the Halberdier, of course, against Hussar, right? Should be able to hold on even against Bombard Cannons. So long as he plays his cards right. He can zone the Bombard Cannons away with the Lombos. He can protect the Trebuchets with the Halberdier. Can potentially even use the Trebuchets to try and take on the Bombard Cannons. We'll see. And here comes Mr. Yo going forward. He's going to try and find an opening. There is nothing over here. Open. Oh, wait a moment though. It's open to the left-hand side. Vinchester's got to pay attention over there. We'll see. For the time being, Mr. Yo is no longer fishing for back economy from Vinchester. Instead, he's going to try to get some villager kills over here. He's going to try and go after the Trebuchet. He's going to get there. He's going to take one Trebuchet down, two Trebuchets down. Probably he's going to get all three Trebuchets. Not quite. And not even the one up in the north. So it's going to be just this one down the south. We still have two Trebuchets left over here for Vinchester. And he does end up taking the castle down. And check this out. Mr. Yo is going for another castle that Vinchester will be able to target right away. What is this castle location for Mr. Yo? I don't get it. Vinchester wasn't even done unpacking packing the Trebuchet up. He could have canceled that and targeted the castle right away. He could have taken... I'm not really sure if he would have been able to take it down right away in foundation state. But he'll chunk a lot of HP off the foundation over here. So by the time the castle comes up, it's not really going to stay up for too long. Mr. Yo is making a transition for cavalry archers. Leather archer armor is on the way now as well. He's already got Embracer. Take a look, he's already gotten chemistry. Of course, he doesn't need to get it. He gets it for free because of Turks. And these are a little bit stronger as of the latest patch. So long as these are fully upgraded. Do we have we have Parthian tactics already. So these are a little bit stronger against spearline units. Let's see. It's been a struggle to keep the Trebuchets up, Vinchester, despite having a good amount of Halberdier. Often found his defensive units out of position, to be fair, yes. And this is not the engagement you want to take. You don't want to fight the Hussar with your Lombos. Sorry. Point blank range, you want to have your Halberdier in front, but he has taken too many Trebuchet losses to risk sending the Halberdier forward over here anymore. Yeah, and now the game is looking pretty darn even. Population, only about 13 extra population for Vinchester. Is going for Yeoman. He hasn't really needed the upgrade because every time he's fought against the Hussar, it was against the Hussar in his army's face. But this is certainly going to make it a little bit better, especially now that he's got the lead longbowman to potentially target the bombard cannons. He can zone these units out from much farther away. Let's take a look. There you are. So far, so good. Vinchester holds on his leading position over here. Manages to get a castle down. And if he can keep the trebuchet alive over here, should be able to take this one down as well because of Warwolf. Yeah, and Mr. Yo is going to just go on and call the GG. Well, it was all a matter of Mr. Yo being unable to push Vinchester out. If we take a look at the base over here of Mr. Yo and take a look at the resource view, you can see that he had only one tile left to gold, and Turks are a very gold intensive civilization. Because of the location of the castle over here from Vinchester, he started putting pressure over here in a way that Mr. Yo needed to combat that off, push the castles down, and get access to some of the extra resources, because this, while it was not secured for Vinchester, it was being denied from Mr. Yo, right? Got spotted up in the north as well, trying to sneak away and collect some of the neutral resources, and in the end it was only going to be a little bit longer that Mr. Yo was going to be able to keep on going for, and then from that point onwards Vinchester was going to be unstoppable basically, and he was already in a very good position. So Mr. Yo goes down to Vinchester, one of Vinch's home maps, to equalize the series over here. And because this is a best of 5 as opposed to play all 5, this guarantees a 4-game series. For military, we have a stronger KD for Vinchester. In the end, it's gonna be 5-4 exactly. For economy, we have a stronger economy for Mr. Yo, collecting about 3,000 extra resources close to it. But it didn't matter, because KD was better for Vinchester. And he was trading for very cheap units for the most part. He was using Halberdier and Lombos. The slightly stronger economy from Mr. Yo didn't really matter over there. It was mostly about the KD. Well done! Vinchester won, Mr. Yo won. We are in game number, there we go, 3. And Mr. Yo is making use of Persians. Yes, sir. We were just talking about the civilizations a moment ago. And Vinchester is making use of the Byzantines. So what do we expect over here? Mr. Yo's civilization is going to get twice the HP on talks and TCs that work 10, 15, and 20% faster in the feudal castle and imperial ages. He starts with 50 extra food and 50 extra wood, which allows him to go for this almost instantly. While if you take a look at Vinchester, he's going to take longer to get his own dock up. Besides that, Mr. Yo's civilization will also have for the team bonus 2 bonus damage against archer type units from knight line units. And Vinchester, playing with Byzantines, he's going to have 25% faster attacking fire line ships. He's going to have a 33% discount to go up to the Imperial Age. Free Town Watch, free Town Patrol. In addition to that, he gets 25% cheaper Skirm, Spear, and Camel Rider units. Well, for the team bonus, it's going to have long ceiling units 100% faster. Before I forget it though, they also have extra HP on buildings. And it's going to be on all buildings, not only docks and TCs, but it's not going to be quite as high as Persians. With 10, 20, 30, and 40% extra HP. The buildings from Byzantines are going to get progressively stronger as the game goes on, starting with 10% extra HP in the Dark Age, going up to 40% extra HP in the Imperial Age. Anyway, we're gonna enable predictions now that we have a fairly close set for game number 3. Option 1 is going to be Mr. Yo. Option 2 is gonna be Vinchester. And you have 5 minutes to get your predictions going, guys. using your channel points, you can participate. Here we are. PLH is on the way already for Mr. Yo earlier compared to Vinchester, so he's gonna be the first player to get access to Navy. However, Vinch has taken the time to go for extra fishing ships over here, so his economy is looking stronger. As of right now, of course. Second dock on the way for Mr. Yo, Vinchester. He's got 2 villagers, and he's got now enough. Okay, not anymore. But they should be able to go for a dock if he needs to. There we go. Yeah, and the dock's on the way. Vinchester will try to keep up over here. Mr. Yo is the first one to get up though, so we'll see 2 fire galleys coming out right away. Because of the defender's advantage, Vinchester should be fine over here. It's going to be 35 seconds. He needs to survive with the fishing ships over here before he gets his own fire galleys coming out as well. A little bit of a scout skirmish on the left-hand side, Mr. Yo. Seems like he's going to come out on top over there. Yes, sir. Nice snipe. And Vinchester is getting only now to the fuel edge. There we go. So the fire galleys get immediately queued up. And Mr. Yo is going to have the first fire galleys come out already at about the same time. So it's putting pressure. Remember, guys, 3 minutes left for the prediction contest. Option 1, Mr. Yo. Option 2, Vinchester. For who wins game number 3. Barracks in the way for Mr. Yo. Here we go, and the fires do come out for Vinchester, but now he's outnumbered. He's going for more. He's got demolition rafts coming out first, though. You know, if he plays his cards right and repairs these with the villagers only, might be able to make the play for demos over here work a little bit better. And there we go. Oh, that is a big shot. The end, Vinchester is going to end up losing all the fishing ships, though. So now he's behind by 2 workers against Mr. Yo. It's gonna be so hard to keep up with everything that's going on at the same time. Vinchester is now getting a good demo shot over there. In the end, could not get the villagers down, but chunked a lot of HP off one of the fire galleys. And you know what? Because he's got the 2 villagers coming over as well, and might be able to get the fire galleys down. We'll take a look. It's not fast enough. We have the demos coming over from Mr. Yo as well, and Vinchester. Vinchester's got only fire galleys on the way. Yeah, those villagers will not go down to the demo shot. That was close though. I think Mr. Yo would actually have been able to take it if he had... Yeah, that is not the best for Vinchester, but he should be able to repair this. I think Mr. Yo would have been able to take it if he had just gone on a straight line, as the demolition raft got quite deep into the shoreline over here. It was not going to be able to actually target the unit necessarily, but if he manually detonated it, I think he would have been able to get the villagers. In any case, it's kind of risky over here from Vinchester to go this way, so deep into the water, trying to chase the fire galleys to repair them. We'll see that Mr. Yo goes for a demolition raft, of course. And Vinchester's got to be careful, man. We'll take a look at this point of view. And if he realizes about a demolition raft coming out of the fog of war, he'll most likely not end up just getting picked up by it. Here comes the demo. Take a look at this. Vinchester realizes about it. Is gonna try and take it down with the fire, and it's so close. And bow! 1 villager goes down. The other one goes down as well. Mr. Yo got an archer range on the right hand side. It's gonna start putting some pressure on Lander. We saw earlier that Vinchester was going for the archer range himself as well. He's got a second archer on the way. Both these players have been prioritizing getting water control first. And then we'll see the land plays, of course. And Vinchester should be able to defend himself though. He knows about the archers already, so he should be making a play for skirmishers. Interesting that he's not going for it, especially with how cheap they are for the Byzantines. Instead, we see the walls come out for Vinchester. Here we are. Yeah, and Mr. Yo doesn't end up losing water control or water presence for the most part. He's going to end up losing the docks here. He's going for his own demo rafts again. Might be able to get the fishing ships down. That's probably the most damage he's going to be able to do, and in the end, docks will go down anyway, though. There we go. Yeah, then we'll go down to the fire galleys, and this honestly kind of feels like wasted resources for Mr. Yo to keep on going for this. If he could not get the damage done already, I mean, I guess it's worth trying, because if he's able to get the fishing ships down, at the very least he'll be able to prevent Vinchester from getting ahead in economy. But he's using a lot of extra resources trying to go for the demos over there. So far it's not really worked out. The archer push over here seems a little bit stronger, but now we have a skirmisher over here coming out from Vinchester. He should be able to defend, and he will. He will. So Mr. Yo loses the entirety of his forward army. He's got just one archer left on the right hand side. To be fair though, it seems like he was able to get 2 villagers down. Damn, Vinchester has taken the most equal losses this game to 1 archer. 3 villagers even. Wow. Vinchester took some time to react to that. Meanwhile, in the water, we only have 1 demolition raft, 1 fire galley from Mr. Yo, and if it weren't Persians, Mr. Yo, he would have already lost the docks over here a while ago. These have twice the HP, and they have gone down to about half HP, so any other civilization most likely would have died already, right? And in the end, we see the demos come out. Good reaction from Vinchester. Demos coming over. Fire galley surviving over here from Vinchester for the time being. He needs to go for more, and he will. Meanwhile, he's got his own archers moving over the left-hand side forward, trying to put pressure and pushing Mr. Yo away from the farmers. Pushing him away from the wood line. The gold. Now he's got the hill over here, so Vinchester's gotta be careful. There we go. Yeah, good defense for Mr. Yo. It's gonna be fine. Meanwhile in the water, still looking better for Vinchester. More demolition rafts coming out from Mr. Yo. He's not giving up. He's not giving up, but Vinchester has already put himself in a much better spot. The KD favors the red player, despite the KD favoring the bull player. The fishing ships over here are certainly helping Vinchester stay alive against Mr. Yo, who's got the faster working TC and has been able to go for a significant amount of extra villagers up until this point. Especially with Vinchester having a little bit of a higher idle TC time. But in the end, it's gonna be the red player, the first one to click up to the castle age, as he's already on his way up. But Mr. Yo, not so much. Not so much himself. There we go. Hey, Flower and Dancer. Hi, welcome. Welcome back as well. And thank you for the follows today, guys. Very much appreciated. Hope you're enjoying the content so far. Remember that whenever we are casting games from related to this tournament, we're gonna be making use of this specific overlay with all the sponsor logos as well. That is why we don't have the chat up. Yeah, there we go. Left inside? Yeah, not too much. CEO is getting close to having enough resources to go on. Meanwhile, Vinchester is about to get there already. And these dogs are eventually going down. No questions about it. Vinchester. Is he getting the workout, the upgrade? He's not going for it. He's got the most Navy units right now, so he doesn't see a need for it. It's not necessary anymore. And he'll, in the end, might end up just getting the dogs down over here anyway. However, Mr. Yo is going to still be a nuisance as he keeps on going for more and more demos. He's going after the fire galleys, and Vinchester is not paying too much attention over there. That's gonna be a big shot. That was not good for Mr. Yoda. What happened over there? He had a chance to take in 2 fire galleys over here, potentially all 3, and he was paying attention on the left hand side. That's what happened. Vinchester's got some skirmishes over here as Mr. Yo was trying to wall himself up. Vinchester was trying to prevent that, so he'll be able to come in with his castle age units already on land. But in the end, he won't be able to do it. I'm glad you took care of yesterday's glitch. Yes, I think I found the source of the issue. Because I had only started getting it fairly recently. And I wasn't really sure what it was. I thought it was an OBS bug at the beginning, but it turns out... Well, if I am correct this time around, it turns out it was not an OBS bug. Let's take a look at this, though. Oh, big shots! All 4 fish ships going down from Vinchester. He was paying attention on the left-hand side, of course. So Mr. Yo was finally able to take advantage of those Navy units. Well done. So, if I am correct about the issue, I think it was RTX voice. I had downloaded it in hopes of making use of it for my streams. RTX voice, for anybody who might not be familiar with it, is an artificial intelligence model from NVIDIA that makes use of your graphics card, your NVIDIA graphics card, to remove background noise, and it seems to be more effective than OBS solution. So I was going to try and implement it. I had just downloaded it, but I haven't finished setting it up, and it turns out that it was opening in the background on its own every time that I started my computer. And because I don't have a new graphics card, it's a fairly old model, it was apparently just hoarding everything, and the task manager wouldn't really show it as RTX voice using the resources. But the moment I close it, then I was able to stream without any issues, with very low GPU usage overall, at the very least, all things considered, right, compared to before where it was going up to 99%. And yeah, it seems to have fixed the issues. Hopefully that's going to be the case in the future as well, and we are not going to have too many glitches anymore. Next year, I think I'm going to try and upgrade my computer so that hopefully we're going to be able to start streaming at 60 FPS. Right now you can see that we are streaming at 30 FPS. You can see capture ages. Frame rate over here is 30 FPS as well. Locally, I am running capture age at 30 FPS because I cannot really do it at 60 currently. And let alone stream at 60 while running all of this at 60 FPS, right? So we're going to need an upgrade in the future. We're going to worry about that later. Right now, Vinchester's still looking strong. He's got 3 TCs already up. Market's on the way to try and balance his economy because you take a look at the gold and he's got so much of it. A 4th TC is on the way. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo is only now adding the 3rd TC. Well, the red player's been able to get ahead in worker count again. First time in a little bit. And Mr. Yo, he's just playing defensive. He's gotten camels up. He's gotten monks up. It should be enough for Mr. Yo to defend himself against Vinchester's pressure. However, Vinchester's stronger economy should allow him to be the first player to get to the MPLH, and that's going to put him in a much better position, of course. He'll still have to pay 25% less resources to go for camels, but he's going to get access to heavy camels. Play bar than armor. Potentially iron casting. Nice knives over here, though. Some villagers going down. Vinchester might end up losing the majority of the camels over there, but he gets a monk. He gets extra villagers. I would say that was overall not the worst for Vinchester, even if he ends up losing the majority of the units. There you are. Overall looking great. Yeah, and now Will Vinchester, with the 40 CCs he's got, has managed to get a 23 work elite versus Mr. Yo. It should not take too long, especially with the 33% discount to the Imperial Age that Vinchester gets with Byzantines. It shouldn't be too long for the red player to make a play for the Imperial Age. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo is collecting stone quite heavily. We're gonna see a castle come up soon to defend himself. Unfortunately, by the time he gets a castle up, Vinchester, you take a look at his stone count, will most likely already have a castle up himself, and probably Vinchester is going to be on his way to the Imperial Age by the time Mr. Yo ever gets enough resources for the castle. We need elephants? We do, don't we? When is the last time that we saw elephants? Well, in this tournament, actually, I don't really remember. When did we see elephants? I mean, you cannot really count the armor elephants, right? I'm talking about battle elephants, elephant archers, perhaps ballista elephants. War elephants? War elephants has been a long time since the last time that I saw it. Now counting elephants? Well, the armor elephants are a reskinned ram, for the most part. I don't know. Alright, Mr. is gonna try and get a castle forward. Vinchester already has the resources to go for a counter castle. Nice conversions. He gets one of the fire galleys. It gets converted back. Should be. Yeah, it does. More conversions coming up, and he does end up getting 2 additional conversions. Wow. Big demo threat over here from Vinchester. Without the war galley upgrade, though, these are not anywhere near as strong as they could be. And he's bringing them over. Big shot! Demos end up chunking a lot of HP off Mr. Yo's units over here. In the end, they won't take everything down, and it was a little bit underwhelming, but it's going to be enough to prompt Mr. Yo to call the GG, as his army was still going to be smaller compared to Vinchester's. And this is, of course, without even taking into account the fact that Vinchester was going to be on his way to the Imperial Age very soon. Take a look at the resources. Well done. The red player thus finds himself up in the series 2-1 against Mr. Yo. I think the last time that we saw a matchup between both these players, Mr. Yo actually took on Vinchester without too many issues. Now Vinchester seems to be doing a lot better against the Chinese player. Let's go and take a look at the achievements and see what we have left for game number 4, which is going to be match point, of course, and potentially game number 5. We have a stronger KD for Vinchester with about very, very close to 4-to-3 KD ratio. For economy, a stronger economy for Vinchester as well by about 4,500 extra resources. Society, higher worker count for Vinchester at the end of the game, same as the max villager count. And he ended up losing 5 villagers throughout the game, meanwhile Mr. Yo ended up losing 9, so that's not the worst. The worst was probably for Vinchester to end up losing 7 out of 8 fishing ships he went for. Well, Mr. Yo ended up losing only 2 over here. So overall, it was a little bit closer in terms of eco losses for both these players than what just a villager count would have you believe. But in the end, it does not matter too much. Vinchester playing an incredible game over here. It's going to end up getting a dub in the L. Mr. Yo is going to take the L instead. Let's go back and wait for game number 4, which should begin very shortly. Let's take a look at which maps we have available for that one. And here we are, guys. Welcome everyone then to game number 4. Match point already between Mr. Yo and Vinchester. They're going to be playing the blue and red colors respectively, as we've seen them throughout the series so far. And Mr. Yo is playing towards the southeast, while Vinchester is playing towards the northwest. And taking a look at the civilizations, it will be Dravidians for Mr. Yo, and it will be Mongols for Vinchester. I wasn't really sure what to expect over here. If you want to get information, actually the TGM command doesn't really give too much information. It's only going to give as much information as they were asking us to provide with that command, which isn't too comprehensive. If you want to get information about the Grand Malay, you can take a look at Wikipedia. Otherwise, I can summarize the tournament for you. It's going to be a 100,000 land tournament taking place in Hanover DreamHack Festival. In about 4 days from now, starting on the 15th and going through the 17th. $100,000, 8 players. We already had a qualifier for it. And Vinchester and Mr. Yo actually won 2 spots in the main event from playing the qualifiers. However, because of travel restrictions, Vinchester and Mr. Yo won't be able to attend the LAN event, for which they are being replaced by 2 players who made it through the replacement qualifier, which we finished casting yesterday. And Vinchester and Mr. Yo instead, they are going to play a show match over here, a best of 5 series, which will give the winner $2,300 and the loser, actually $2,000 for the winner, $1,300 for the loser over here. And that's going to be a good chunk of change, of course. And hopefully it's going to alleviate not being able to go, right? It's going to alleviate the bad news of not being able to go. No bets? Let's enable the bets. Yes. So who wins game number 4? This match point already. Option 1, Mr. Yo. Option 2, Vinchester. You have 5 minutes to go for it. There we are. And to go for a good walk before bed. Thanks for the stream, and I hope you're still on when I return. Alright, Paila, I'll see you. Have a good one. Village on the way now for Vinchester, Mr. Yo. And we were expecting this to be the case for Vinchester. He's playing Mongols after all. Gets 40% fast work in Hunters, so that's going to boost his foot income early on. Mr. Yo is going to be the one to go and try to contest the center, as Vinchester doesn't seem to be interested in going for the center just yet. Militia's coming out already for Mr. Yo, though. He's got the second one on the way very soon, and Vinchester, well, Vinchester has gotten to the field edge earlier. He's got the stable coming up. Mr. Yo. So he's got the third militia on the way. 3 Minotaurs and a Spearman are going to be so rough for Vinchester to fight against. Mr. Yo civilization, by the way, in case you are not aware of it, in case you might not have learned the new civilization bonuses yet, Dravidians will get 200 extra wood upon reaching a new age. They also get a 50% discount on barracks upgrades, so going for Minotaur is actually going to be cheaper for him. Take a look at that. He's going for it. Minotaurs? Mr. Yo? No? Okay, never mind. He's not going for it. He's waiting. This is very smart, even if it's cheap for him. Notice how he's not going to go for the upgrades unless he notices the red player is actually open. He might be able to get some damage down over here. Viva la Rob! 44, thank you so much for the Prime sub! It's very much appreciated. You guys know I love the Prime subs. They're free for you if you have a Prime subscription. You can redeem a free subscription on a Twitch channel of your choice per month. You don't have to pay for it. It already comes bundled with your Amazon Prime, and it still gives me, of course, the revenue share, so it's fantastic. One villager goes down for Vinchester, back on the berries. Meanwhile, the red player is going to end up pushing Mr. Yo by getting a tower up on the hill at the center. And Mr. Yo is going back, and this actually... I think I'm still liking Vinchester's position over here, despite the fact that he ended up losing a villager, mostly because getting access to the center and being the only player with access to the center gives him so much extra food for free. However, there is a counter tower coming up from Mr. Yo, and Vinchester's not going to be aware of it. If you take a look at his point of view, yeah, he's going to realize about this only once it comes up. You see this tower already has enough range to target the mill, not enough range to target the villagers. He's gonna need fletching for that. There we go. Whoa! Viva, thank you so much for the gift sub, even. Support my content even further. I appreciate it very much. Thank you a lot. That is... Oh, Hamburger, who's getting the sub over there. Welcome to the club as well. And it's very much appreciated. Thank you once again. By the way, guys, there is only 1 minute left. The last minute for you to participate in the prediction contest. Option 1 is going to be Mr. Yo. Option 2 is going to be Vinchester. You can use your channel points to predict who you think is going to win this one. Remember, it's match point, Vinchester. If he takes this game, he's going to win the whole thing. Well, Mr. Yo, on the other hand, not so much. The only way back for him is going to be 2 wins back-to-back against the red player. Taking a look at the center. We still have no fletching for Mr. Yo, so this tower didn't really do much of anything against Vinchester's fisherman, right? And he could potentially go for a mill over here on the right-hand side and keep on collecting from here as well. I think that the red player is going to be fine. On the back, we have the scouts coming up, and the spearman goes down right away from Mr. Yo, so the Minotaurs get completely wiped out, and Vinchester is the only player with a strong enough army over here left to potentially go forward and put some pressure with. So we'll love to see him come in, try to take the tower down, potentially the villagers down from Mr. Yo, or alternatively, since he's got the mobility with the scouts, just go around the center and try to find some exposed economy. For instance, Mr. Yo has over chopped already on the backwood. He's got the foragers over here completely exposed as well. Even the gold miners are exposed. The only defense over here for Mr. Yo is going to be a single spearman and a few archers, which aren't really going to be much of a threat against Vinchester's scouts, right? And here he comes. Vinchester's going right out to the tower. We have the archers coming over from Mr. Yo as well. However, Vinchester's got a good amount of archers himself too. Doesn't have any skirmishers, mind you. But might be able to get a good trade over here in the end. Send the scouts over. He's trying to go after the skirmishers so that he can take on the archers and the spearmen with his own archers. But that is a lot of damage the tower is dealing over here. However, pop goes the weasel. The villagers come out over here. We have only 3 scouts left over there for Vinchester to make use of. Might be able to get a village down. Not going to be able to do it in the end. Mr. Yo does end up saving the villagers by repairing the tower a little bit, but still. Yeah, Vinchester's pressure over there forced a reaction from Mr. Yo, and in the end, the unit control was extremely good for Mr. Yo. It allowed him to keep the tower up, to save the villagers. Notice he did not lose a single of these 5 villages, and he ended up taking the vast majority of Vinchester's army. So, in the span of 1 minute over there, Mr. Yo puts himself in a much better position when he was looking so much worse compared to Vinchester just a moment ago. Wow. Before I run off, could you tell me how the Colombian city of Cartagena is pronounced? Cartagena. That has been bothering me. Yeah. It's pronounced like that. I don't know if you're going to see the VOD or if you're going to ask at a different time. I can answer it again. No problem. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there we go. Just Cartagena. Yeah, it's pretty simple. One village goes down already from Vinchester at the center. So far, Mr. Yo with a smaller army has been able to get more damage done compared to Vinchester. Plus, he's got almost enough resources to go out to the Castle Age. Vinchester is the first player, the only player also to go for water economy. He's got some fishing ships roaming around, and Castle Age is on the way already for Mr. Yo, Vinchester. I don't know if he would have been able to seal the deal if he already had taken all the villages down around the tower over here earlier, but certainly losing all the military units he lost over there put them in a rougher spot. Katie favors Mr. Yo, and Vinchester struggled to keep up with the economy against the blue player for the most part, and doesn't seem like he'll be able to go out to the Castle Age just yet. He'll need a market for sure, and he doesn't have one, so that he can balance his economy. Game has stabilized. Probably not gonna be the case for much longer though. What does Mr. Yo have to work with? He's got a second archer range coming up. He's playing Dravidians. We'll also get 25% faster attacking skirm in the elephant archer units. And you said, by the way, just now, right now, did you hear that extremely loud bike in the background? Let me know. Because it was like one of those tiny, not very fast moving, but extremely loud motorbikes going down the highway. You heard that? Okay. Okay. You probably wouldn't have heard it if I hadn't talked on top of it, I would imagine. Thank you. Hey, Iron Chef. Welcome. So yeah, I was going to say, you were asking for elephants. Well, we have double archer ranges over here. We could see elephant archers. In the end, it's going to be just crosses though for Mr. Yo. It doesn't want to have fun by the looks of it. Instead, he's going to go for battle elephants, which are going to provide a fantastic meat shield still. There he goes. Finally, a village goes down from Mr. Yo at the center to Vinchester scouts. Castle Age is on the way for Vinchester right now, Mr. Yo. Mr. Yo is gonna try to go for the same kind of push that Vinchester went for earlier, trying to take the tower down over here and get the villages. And you know what? He's losing a lot over here himself. Might end up losing another villager, and he will. Yes, sir. Good unit control. Oh my lord, good unit control for Vinchester over here. Mr. Yo, in trying to get the villagers down from the tower over here, is going to end up taking a bunch of losses himself, and it's going to be pretty similar to what we just saw a few minutes ago, except that this time around it's Mr. Yo the one to get clapped down while trying to get some damage done. To be fair, this time around, Mr. Yo did manage to get some damage done against Vinchester. That'll be about it. Stable's coming out for Vinch. He already had one. That's gonna be the second stable. Get into the Castle Age. We'll give him access to camels, knights. And yeah, camels are going to be alright. Mr. Yo is gonna keep on making the play for elephants. Beautiful. There you are. So DC's coming out for Vinchester. We have Mr. Yo coming in with crosses from behind. Vinchester is going to end up losing a few villagers. Very, very good push from Mr. Yo. It's a split push on the left-hand side. He has gotten 2 villages down already. Meanwhile, Vinchester is getting the step lancers out over here. Should be able to clean these units. And he will, for the most part. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, he also had a push coming in with skirmishers and elephants. TC's coming up though, and I don't think... Okay, that's a village going down. Actually, Vinchester kind of blocked it with his own Step Lancer, but the TC comes up and Vinchester stabilizes over here. Still remains on 2 extra workers because of the fishing ships over here. It's gotten for 9 fishing ships throughout the game. And this allowed them to keep up for the most part, otherwise it would have been bad. Also, if you're watching this series on YouTube, this one is coming up on the 14th. Do let me know if you notice throughout the series any background noises. Sometimes when there is some loud traffic, I just try to let it pass a little bit before talking, because I think if I talk on top of the noise, then it doesn't suppress it. It's gotta be just the noise. But yeah, once again, I'm not 100% sure. Bear with me, it's been incredibly hot. I need some airflow. Don't have AC, so I need to open the window a little bit. Anyway. Nice pressure from Mr. Yo on water as well. Getting some of the fishing ships down. And Vinchester is going forward with the Step Lancers he used to stabilize back home. Now it's going to try to get some damage done over here and might be able to get some damage. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, we have extra crosses coming in from Mr. Yu. You take a look at Vinchester's point of view, and he's got no idea about this. We could see all 3 villages going down. Most likely, 1, 2, well done. Almost all 3 villages going down. Mr. Yo has to worry about a defensive Scorpion over here, so he goes around, and I love Mr. Yo's approach of no risks over here. Right, he comes over, tries to get some damage done. If he gets pushed back, he gets pushed back. He goes around and tries to find a different angle. You know, he's just going to keep on roaming around until he's able to find an exposed area around Vinchester's economy. Nice snipe over here though. 2 Step Lancers might not seem like much, but when you have no defenses against these, and now we have 2 additional ones coming up. Mr. Yo's castle out of the center is getting the lead. They're losing a bunch of villages over here. Still, Vinchester is going to be the one ahead in worker count. Of course, with the War Galley upgrade over here from Mr. Yo, Vinchester's fishing ships are poised to go down. And well, he does have a second TC to work with to try and keep up with the economy. Mr. Yo has gotten 3 TCs up himself, so Vinchester is going to struggle to keep up. Here we go. Yes, it's coming up. This time around. Not necessarily for sure. The Step Lancers still have 1 range, so they can attack through the gate. But with the crosses over here, that's going to provide enough protection, as Vinchester doesn't really have chain bar than armor. These guys are not particularly strong against arrow fire, right? So the castle comes up in the end, and Mr. Yo solidifies his lead in game number 4. Well, 6 is coming out for the bull player. 3rd and 4th TCs on the way for Vinchester. Well, this is going to come at a huge cost, of course. So Yo, instead, he is sticking to 3 TCs only. He's gonna have another castle coming out very soon. Further forward castle. And there is a fantastic location over here for Mr. Yo. There are 2 fantastic locations for Mr. Yo to go for castles. He can go for one over here, or he can go for one over here on the right hand side. Both these castles would deny a lot of resources, with the gold and the stone being denied, the TC going down from a castle on the right hand side to a castle on the right hand side from Mr. Yo. And then on the left hand side, he will be able to deny this, and he will be able to put pressure against this gold. Not so much about this, this stone, not so much about this gold though. Probably want to go for the castle a little bit further forward. Probably around here would be a better location, although I think it might be a little bit too forward. Too hard to get up, and probably wouldn't really get enough range, right? To deny the resource anyway, and it's going for the one on the right hand side. In the end, it's not going to be quite as forward as I was expecting him to go for, especially when he already had vision of the map. Vinchester's gonna react with a counter castle. He had to buy the stone he needed for it. He's trying to push Mr. Yo away. Mr. Yo's got the crosses over here, so he'll be able to get the castle up, but all at the same time. Petards should be coming out from both these players, but it's not going to be the case. Vinchester goes on to call the GG right away. And it's not like anything happened in the, the last 30 seconds that completely destroyed Vinchester. He was on a steady decline for the last 10 minutes or so. Mr. Yo has been getting a stronger and stronger lead against the red players, so in the end, it will be game number 4 going in favor of Mr. Yo, who equalized the series and turns this into a $700 game. Game number 5 is going to be a $700 game. The winner of this series gets $2,000. The loser of the series gets $1,300. So it's a $700 game for the 5th one. Let's go and take a look at the achievements before jumping into game number 5. Better than 3 to 2k, the ratio for Mr. Yo is lovely. For economy, we have a stronger economy for Mr. Yo as well. Collecting about 1,600 extra resources. 1,700 extra resources even. For society, we'll see a higher villager max count for Mr. Yo. In the end, he ended up taking the fewest losses over here, losing only about 8 workers throughout the game. Meanwhile, Vinchester ended up losing about 16 workers. Actually, villagers only, right? And then for fish and ships, that's going to be 11 additional losses for Vinchester. Adding to this, that's going to amount to 27 workers lost from Vinchester throughout the game, while Mr. Yo, on the other hand, with 8 over here, and no fish and ships going down, is only going to stay at 8 worker losses. Well played! There we are. So welcome everyone then to game number 5, the tiebreaker, the decider in the series. With game number 4 going in favor of Mr. Yo, we are paying the predictions off, and we'll enable predictions for game number 5. For the next 5 minutes, you'll have the ability to predict who you think is going to win game number 5, and thus who is going to win the series, with option 1 being Mr. Yo and option 2 being Vinchester. You can use your channel points as usual and go for it. Talking about civilizations, Mr. Yo's got Bohemians. Vinchester, he's got Hindustanis. For the blue player, his civilization is going to provide free mining camp upgrades for his villagers. On top of that, we also have for Mr. Yo with the Bohemians, there we go. We're gonna have for Mr. Yo with the Bohemians also access to chemistry and hand cannoneer in the castle age. They also get 25% higher attack on spearline units, and fervor and sanctity affect villagers. Besides that, they also have a 100 wood discount on blacksmiths and universities. Team bonus for Mr. Yo is going to be, there we go. Team bonus for Mr. Yo, it's gonna be 80% faster working markets, while Vinchester are playing with Hindustanis instead. And I think we're probably gonna have to remove this. It's already in the title, so it's fine. Otherwise it clashes. Playing with Hindustanis instead, he's going to have, yeah, Bohemians for Mr. Yo. Playing with Hindustanis instead, Vinchester is going to have 25% faster attacking camels. +1/+1 armor on gunpowder units. They also get 10, 15, 20, and 25% cheaper villages in the Dark Field Castle and Imperial Ages. And for the team bonus, they have 2 bonus damage from light cavalry, hussar, and camel rider units against buildings. Predictions open still for 2.5 minutes. And let's take a look at the map generation. Starting with Mr. Yo, he's got the main goal on the back. He's got the secondary goal on the left-hand side. And then the other secondary goal is going to be on the right-hand side. Both of these are super, super far away. This goal is fantastic if he goes for some walls from here towards the edge of the map. And then something from here to here, here to the berries, right? And something like from here to the front of the TC and here to here. You should be able to secure the main gold, should be able to secure the main stone, which is also in the back. And then it's only going to be the secondary golds and the secondary stone over here that are going to be kind of exposed. Going for walls like this is also going to give Mr. Yo full access to the wool line over here on the back. Meanwhile, if we take a look at the map generation for Vinchester instead, we'll see that the red player, it's got the main gold on the back. Secondary gold towards the northeast. The other secondary gold, you cannot see it, but it's over here, so it's underneath the stats. And for stone, we have the main stone 4, and the secondary stone is towards the northwest. So the main goal is on the back, which is great, and it's going to make the map generation a little bit more fair. But the secondary goals and the main stone especially are going to still be 4. The secondary golds are going to be 4, just like they were for Mr. Yo. But the first gold, the first stone, sorry, the primary stone over here being 4, that's certainly going to be unlike what Mr. Yo had up until this point. Regardless though, we have the militias coming over from Mr. Yo. He's got the Man at Arms upgrade coming up, and Vinchester's reaction is extremely swift. He's got the quick walls coming up around the wool line. What am I talking about? Yes, the wool line over here on the left hand side. He's got the quick walls coming up around the foragers. Yeah, and then the right hand side wool line over here, he should be able to protect pretty easily. And he's going to. So Yo, he knows he cannot really get the Minotaurs over here on time, so he's not even going to try. There we go. We will see a villager go down though in the end to the Minotaurs from Mr. Yo. I was not expecting him to be able to get any damage done over here, but that's already gonna be first blood, guys. Favoring Mr. Yo. Vinchester. On the other hand, well, he's got scouts coming out over here, very similar to what we saw on Fish and Fish. Mr. Yo kept the scout over there, he would have been able to prevent the villagers from walking away, probably. But as is, yeah, he wasn't able to do too much. Keeps on roaming around, trying to breach through palisades. And Vinchester, well, he's taking the spearman down. Now he's got 5 scouts left to work with against 2 archers, 3 men-at-arms, and the scouts. Still not strong enough for Vinchester to take an engagement over here, of course. He's to get a few extra skirmishers himself, and he's going for it, but it's going to take some time, Mr. Yo. Looking a little bit stronger, but that's not going to be the case for much longer than this, of course, with Vinchester. Going for extra units by the minute, Mr. Yo is eventually going to get overpowered. And if he's unable to get any damage done up until this point, it seems unlikely to me that he'll be able to get any extra damage. Beyond the 1 villager, right, that he got. Hey, 2 Pumps! Doing alright? I hope you're doing alright as well. Everything's going well. You're casting this fantastic show match between Vinchester and Mr. Yo. Here we go. Yeah, you know, and so far, it's been pretty good for Vinchester. He's been able to defend himself just fine. However, Mr. Yo is the only player who's gotten a villager down so far. You gotta keep in mind, because how heavily Mr. Yo has been going for the walls over here, how much he's invested. And I really don't get why he goes for the wall over here and connects to the wall line as opposed to just going for, you know, it wouldn't be, especially with how much he's invested in terms of villager working time into the walls, it would actually have been better for him to go for something like the wall like this, in my opinion. from here towards the edge of the map, from here towards the edge of the map. He would have been able to completely secure this. But now he could potentially get pushed away from here. Some range units. Left hand side though. Here comes Mr. Yo's second push. Second wave of units. He already brought back first wave, but this one is looking very strong. He does not get a villager down. To be fair, Vinchester has not really been able to secure his base against range units yet though. So like, what we are seeing right now from Mr. Yo could also be done by Vinchester if he were to send some of the skirmishers forward, right? And push the villagers away from the wool line over here, push away the villagers from the wool line over there. We have no safe wool lines over here for the bull player either. I'm very well, thanks man. Played the team game with Fire today, we won. I have no DC. That's so funny. DC is for the week. It is. It's a 2. I wonder who is going to take the win. We'll see. Right now it seems like both players are looking very, very close. They've been trading blows, and for game number 5, it seems like both these guys will go up to the castle age at about the same time. This is another instance of some somewhat loud traffic in the background. I was talking at the same time as the vehicles were passing by, so I think you might have heard some of it. Hopefully it was not too annoying. But yeah, do let me know if you're watching this on YouTube as well. Do let me know if you heard anything. Just trying to keep the stream quality high, right? But striving for it anyway. But having some airflow in this very hot day. Didn't hear anything? Alright. There we go. Right hand side. Yeah, Vinchester's got the scouts over here, but it's not likely to achieve much of anything because Mr. Yo already being completely walled out. What's if here is better in Castle Age? Well, better per se. I would say probably the Hindustanis. They get a power spike with faster attacking camels. And they get also even cheaper villagers. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo in the Castle Age, he gets access to chemistry and hand cannon, but that is something that we don't really see very often. And it's going to be very expensive to get to, of course. You need to pay for chemistry. You need to get the archer ranges up. And it's not something we usually see them go for. Instead, they are usually the civilization to play for late game situations with Halberdier and Cognita. So we'll see. Crossman Bakinaro on the way now for Mr. Yo as well. And Vinchester gets to the Castle Age himself. What do we get then? Second TC right away is gonna try and play for economy. Paying fewer resources per villager will give him some savings over here. And while he's got the resources to go for a third TC, he seems to be saving just so that he can go for a castle. And Mr. Yo has not been collecting stone whatsoever, so he could potentially go for extra TCs. He's got the resource to go for the second one already, but he's not thinking of going for a castle anytime soon. Defensive castle on the way for Vinchester. This can be huge if he keeps on collecting stone. He's able to go for a 30C and keep the defenses out with the castle over here. That puts him in a much better position in the next 5-10 minutes. While Mr. Yo is going for wheelbarrow, Vinchester is going for wheelbarrow. He's got the second TC already up, so should be able to keep on producing villages at the same time. And he's going to start pulling ahead in work account. And we see the second TC finally come up for Mr. Yo. He's had the resources for it for a while. As a matter of fact, right now he's got enough resources to go for a third TC as well. And I would imagine the bull player would probably be good going for the TC over here. And he's going to. There we go. Well, Mr. Yo keeps on trying to put the pressure up. Vinchester. It's gonna be fine, man, against crossbows. He's got Gulam to work with, so that should be fine against what Mr. Yo's got to work with over here. Plus, because Vinchester finally completely walled himself off up to the north, he's got plenty of wood over here on the back to collect from as well. So these crosses are not really threatening anymore. And then Mr. Yo comes in. This could be a ruse. This could be a trap. Vinchester. He's got 4 more Gulam queued up. So Mr. Yo comes in and starts trying to fish for damage. Well, Vinchester is going to have the 30 CR already up, so that's going to put him in a very, very good position for defending himself. And the Gulam, of course, might be able to take on the crossbows. We see them coming up right now. It's got 8 Gulam already. It's gotta be careful. I definitely would like to see Vinchester let the archers come in a little bit further before trying to approach them from behind. But in the end, he will still end up getting a very decent trade over here, I would say. He's trying to focus the archers down. He can really fight the knights with Gulam, and he's going to clean up the archers. And well played! Vinchester is now looking really, really good. With Gulam, he's able to clean out the units for the most part. Doesn't have enough HP to phase the knights. However, he can go back, go for a few extra Gulam and take on the knights, or alternatively, just garrison. Set a TC and let the villagers do the work. In the end, he's going to try and engage against the knight, though. Here we are. Beautiful. Yeah, Mr. Yo stabilizes. Let's bring a villager over here, though, to try and close this. He's going for the 4th DC, though. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo, he does have a 3rd DC already up, so Vinchester will need a 4th DC in order to... yeah, to still pull ahead even further, right? Nice monk snipe over here from Vinchester. Takes one of the monks from Mr. Yo. The bull player is going to still have 1 monk left. He's collected 2 relics so far. He's going for another relic on the right hand side. And Vinchester's been keeping track of the relics. So he'll take this monk down for sure. So long as Mr. Yo is not paying attention to the unit. But if the bull player is paying attention, he could potentially have tried to go for the conversion. It's not going to be the case in the end, though. So now it's too late. The monk goes down. And Mr. Yo, in the last 3 to 5 minutes, have lost hundreds upon hundreds of resources between all the crossbows going down to the Golem. Both these monks going down to the scouts as well. That's a lot of resources Mr. Yo has invested into units he's been unable to take advantage of. Meanwhile, Vinchester, the Golem he's gone for have been extremely effective, and for the most part, he's got a better KD over here. Very, very close to 5 to 3 KD ratio. And with a 4 DC, he should be able to start blowing ahead. Villager count as well. Let's see. Nice pick. Hand Cannoneer coming out from Mr. Yo to prevent Vinchester from freely raiding around. Mr. Yo, you see, this once again, this is really a unit that you don't see very often from Bohemians in the Castle Age. If anything, you probably see the Bohemians go for chemistry while going after the Imperial Age to go for Hand Cannoneer over there, but now it's kind of necessary, right? You know, Vinchester's gonna get a castle forward. Vinchester's got enough resources to go for the first castle himself. It seems like Imperial Age is gonna be on the way for both these players very, very soon, but Vinchester has managed to get ahead in work account again. Let's take a look at gather economy time. Hey guys, would you like being a dog whale? It's going to be the same answer as before. Yeah. Higher gather economy time for Mr. Yo, interestingly enough. Despite the fact that Vinchester already has handcart. Heavy plow, Bosa. Well, Mr. Yo has kind of struggled though for eco upgrades. No handcart, just horse collar, and just all bit axe. Trade is on the way for Vinchester. Well, in the Imperial Age, he doesn't really have anything that's going to be particularly strong against Mr. Yo from the archer ranges. He can go for the hand cannoneer with extra range once he gets to the Imperial Age. If he gets Shatagni, that's going to give him extra range on the hand cannoneer, but that's going to be about it, right? For standard archery units, like archers, cavalry archers, that kind of stuff, it's not good for the Hindustan. It's not too good anyway. In the past, when this used to be known as Indians only, they would be a civilization with access to fully upgraded cavalry archers. That is no longer the case. They no longer get part and tactics, which, as of the latest patch, actually becomes a lot more important because it also will give the cavalry archers extra bonus damage against the spearman units, if I'm not mistaken. And Cannoneer coming over though. There we go. Yeah, I'm trying to find the patch notes actually, because I was kind of second guessing myself. I think I might be off over here. Let me take a look. Imperial Age is here already for Mr. Yo. Oh, yeah. You're correct. Yeah, Mr. Yo has been missing the eco upgrades for a while. We mentioned that before when taking a look at the gather economy time, which was looking stronger for Mr. Yo. That is no longer the case. Now instead, we have a higher gather economy time for Vinchester, which does make sense given the eco upgrades over here, right? Final question, just a moment ago, a very loud bike also went through the highway. And if you did not hear this one, then that would confirm my theory that if I just shut up while there is loud traffic, you're not going to hear it. You're only going to hear it if there is a very loud traffic and I'm talking at the same time. Anyway. Mr. Yo's pressure over here is very strong in potential, but it's not going to be the case now against the skirmishers from Vinchester. So the replayer is cleaning this up. He's got ballistics already, should be able to take these units down. He's got the golem. He doesn't need the golem. I don't know, it feels like just feeding 3 kills to Mr. Yo. And then forward. Castle crumbles from Vinchester. Mr. Yo's hit start to the Imperial Age was enough for him to take, well, one of the castles down already. Mr. Yo has not only gotten churches out, he's got bombard cannons too, which makes it very difficult for Vinchester to work with churches himself. Siege Workshop's coming out for Vinchester. He's got Siege Elephant right now as well. Bombard cannon might be going down over here. The hand cannoneer struggling to take on the golem though, and in the end, the bombard cannon survives over there. We have only skirmishers for Vinchester, Mr. Yo. Is bringing the siege elephant over here, which is going to tank. It's going to absorb a lot of damage from the hand cannoneer, but Mr. Yo is still able to get a little bit of extra damage over here before potentially losing both these trebuchets with a siege workshop going down over here in the end. Vinchester's got some villagers up in the north. He started collecting some of the stone over here. Realized about Mr. Yo is bringing some golem to take on the bull players' units. Meanwhile, Blue was able to get a trebuchet down from Vinchester with just villagers. And what a hectic game! What a hectic game! In the end, all the villagers from Mr. Yo are going down over here, so it's going to fall even further in worker count against Vinchester. Mr. Yo is not looking the greatest right now. Taking a look at the gather economy time, it's so much better for Vinchester. Nietzsche is coming out now for Mr. Yo, as well as Chain Metal Armor, so that's going to be Halberdier of Nietzsche. This is what usually you're expecting to see. This is what we were talking about earlier, right? However, it's gonna be an uphill battle. Vinchester, he's got 200 population already. It's got a strong enough economy that he should be able to stay at 200 population in the near future as well. And Mr. Yo is gonna get access to the Hunita very soon. He doesn't really have too many bombard cannons, mind you. Only the 2. And Vinchester, he's already coming in with the Gulam. About 11 hand cannoneer for Mr. Yo to work with. Completely out of position, by the way. The Gulam are taking a bunch of villages down, pushing Mr. Yo away from resources. Yeah, and you know, the Gulam might end up getting cleaned up over here in the end, but they already managed to get some good damage done over here. What is Mr. Yo going to do next? Let's take a look at the resource view of the minimap over here. So Mr. Yo still has access to gold on the back. That is good. It's got about 4,000 left between the neutral gold over here and this one, right? Then he's got access to this gold still for the time being, although he doesn't really have full protection for this one. So Vinchester might be able to push him away from there, and if Vinchester gets away with it, then he's going to have a much better position in terms of access to gold. Shatagni is on the way now for Vinch. Yes, he's going for scale, bar than armor, so we're going to see a transition to cavalry for Vinchester very soon as well. Which is very interesting considering the fact that we have a pikeman over here from Mr. Yo. No halberdier just yet, but to be honest, with hand cannoneer, Vinchester should be able to counter both the pikeman and the hand cannoneer from Mr. Yo. Vinchester should be able to counter that, because with the extra range, it's going to have stronger units compared to Mr. Yo, so long as he makes use of his units' range correctly, of course. But for the time being, the blue player is surviving. He's brought Vinchester down to 170 population, very close to Mr. Yo's. While Vinchester seemed as if he was going to stay locked at 200 population. Mr. Yo was able to push back, and now Vinchester is gonna have to respawn. Mr. Yo, he's got over twice the military count compared to Vinchester. Not the best unit control though. This is what we're talking about. So long as Vinchester is able to control his units properly, then Shatagni is going to give him the edge. But not like this, man. Not like this. Forecast is coming in for Mr. Yo down the south. Vinchester is spotting the villagers from Mr. Yo again. Every time the blue players try to get gold or stone rather around the map, he's kind of spotted. And now, well, yeah, we'll see. Scout over here from Vinchester end up taking all of these villagers by the looks of it. Yeah, you can take a look at this, and Mr. Yo is not fighting back, so all those villagers are going down. Vinchester's push up in the north is not really going to have any protection for the siege, so these siege elephants will most likely end up going down. Oh, there we go. In the end, the villagers fought the cavalry off, but still, Vinchester brings a few Gulam over here. He'll be able to keep control of this area. Let's see if he realizes about the halberdier. He's not realizing about this though. This might allow Mr. Yo to go and take the stone miners down. In the end, it doesn't seem like it's going to be the case. Mr. Yo is just going to chase the units away. Yeah, and Vinchester, I'm not really sure. I don't get this. Vinchester started taking into cavalry when Mr. Yo was quite clearly pretty heavily into pikemen already. And now we have halberdier for Mr. Yo. So Vinchester is going for light cavalry, but obviously it's not going to work. So Mr. Yo is able to bring himself back into this game, but Mr. Yo takes the score lead in the game already. Gets some great momentum over here. Is picking up steam. Should be the one pushing the villages away from Vinchester down the south. And even though the red player is on 190 population compared to 170 from Mr. Yo, he's been struggling to take advantage of it. Mr. Yo's push over here was very strong. And it still remains with Hunita. He's got the hand cannoneer, and he's got the halberdier. A little bit of a trifecta over there, so to say. And there we go. Beautiful, and Vinchester starting to get some momentum back over here. Both players getting 200 population. It's a lot of light cavalry over here. The hand cannoneer and bombard cannons coming in from Vinchester. We're going to try and match Mr. Yo's defensive army. For the time being, Vinchester seems to be doing a little bit of a better job over here, taking the TC down. And Mr. Yo, what is he doing? Going for the castle over here. That's going to take down. It's going to get taken down by the bombard cannon. Never mind, Mr. Yo actually manages to get the bombard cannon down from Vinchester over here just in time. Vinchester was paying attention over there. He would have been able to get the castle foundation down right away. Mr. Yo gets away with it though. Not something that I would say is good. Hazard is here now for Vinchester as well, and the game is heating up. Mr. Yo has finally managed to get some additional map presence. And Vinchester has been trying to prevent Mr. Yo from getting access to the extra resources, as we noted earlier. Most of the goal around the map was within Vinchester's reach. Not so much for Mr. Yo, right? Hey Whistler, hi. Welcome. Yeah, no goal. Well, seems like Vinchester is gonna be the first one to run out. He does have some over here, still. This one is still going to be up for grabs. Now Vinchester is bringing the Hazard against the Halberdier. That's not going to work though. The Hazard gets completely wiped out. Vinchester's trying to get a castle up over here, but against the hand cannoneer and the Halberdier over there from Mr. Yo, this might be a down castle. And Vinchester, he was looking so much stronger just a few minutes ago, but the decision making in the last few minutes has not favored the red player whatsoever. And now Mr. Yo is taking, yeah, he's taking the gold over here down south, getting all the villagers from Vinchester. He's bringing a few extra units over here. The fight is going to revolve around the south, where Doubt's going to remain smiling. Yes. By the castle. Siege engineers coming out now for Mr. Yo. Well, he's still in a higher population compared to Vinchester. He's still definitely the one with momentum. While he kind of runs out of steam a little bit down south and he gets pushed away by Vinchester, he does have a very strong push coming up at the center. With the Hunitas trying to get the castle down over there. Not the best unit control, mind you. Halberdier completely out of position over there. Might cost him one of the Hunita. He's able to keep this one alive though, for the time being. Well done. It does go down in the end though. And Vinchester's going for a lead golem. We'll still have a hand cannoneer from Mr. Yo. I do know this is going to be the best choice for Vinchester. Here we go. Siege elephants up in the north getting completely cleaned up as well. Ezekiel's doing fine. Just missing 2 Mansaw. Right now, yeah. But for the majority of the game, Vinchester was in a much stronger economy by getting access to eco upgrades so much earlier. Let's take a look at the gather economy time. You can see over here, Mr. Yo so far has had 1 day and 18 hours worth of gather economy time compared to 2 days and 2 hours of gather economy. So that's going to be about 8 extra hours of gather economy time for Vinchester throughout the game. Because he's been taking the most losses over here, that kind of offsets for that, of course. It's going to be, after all, about 70 extra units Vinchester has lost to Mr. Yo that he had to compensate for. Yeah, and the game still very much up for grabs. Mr. Yo seems like he officially runs out of gold though. Vinchester does end up securing this one down the south. Mr. Yo is in 0 gold minus. Let's take a look. He does have a goal over here on the right hand side, but he's gotten pushed away from this one. I was gonna try and get a hold of it, but Vinchester is already here. So the red player needs to bring some military units, or at the very least try to get a fortification of some sort over here to secure this one. We'll see if Mr. Yo takes some time to realize about it or not. This does puts Vinchester in a much better spot though, with 2 golds remaining over here. The red player is in a much better position. Those are the 2 main sources of gold, because this one is almost completely out for Vinchester, and this one up in the north is almost completely out for Vinchester as well. So very, very important for Mr. Yo to try and prevent Vinchester from still securing these golds. And in the end though, Mr. Yo, what is he going to do? I don't see any military units coming out the right hand side. They are just going to share the money. And at the center, yeah, Vinchester still has momentum. Mr. Yo, of course, is going to struggle to keep production going. His economy is not strong enough at this point. 109 workers compared to 146. No wonder Vinchester is going to be able to stay pop cap. What we need right now for the red player, though, if he wants to seal the game, is some extra siege. Some gold units to take the defenses down from Mr. Yo, to take the fortifications down from Mr. Yo. That's a lot of Gulam. Remember, he's got a lead. Well, definitely would have preferred to see some trebuchets or bombard cannons coming out, but he's got some siege elephants, so that's good. Mr. Yo instead is gonna keep on trying to get the hand cannoneer out. And Mr. Yo will now get pushed away from this goal, as has Vinchester. Well, the player is gonna try to get a hold of that one. For the time being, Vinchester is going to be the only one with safe access to gold. That is not a whole lot though, about 800 left. 750. Mr. Yo is gonna be the one to go for what I was talking about with the bombard cannon over here. The Humnita is going to be absolutely fantastic. The Golem though are struggling because the numbers for Mr. Yo, they're looking so much better. The military count over here for the bull player, despite him having a much smaller economy, the military is so much larger. He's got a good amount of hand cannoneer, bombard cannons. So long as he's got halberdiers and meat shield over here, the Golem from Vinchester will not really work. So, and we see the red player making a transition into Hussar. He's got 30 queued up. And it's been very, very difficult for Vinch to find a good balance over here. Good army composition that's gonna allow him to take this one, when it seemed as if the game was in his hands already just a few minutes ago. Mr. Yo has been able to come back over here with a force. And while population is still looking stronger for Vinchester, still a little bit of a struggle for him to hold on against the push from Mr. Yo because of the larger military count for the bull player. In the end, the right hand side still going to be up for grabs though. Mr. Yo is trying to take the mining camp down from Vinchester. In the end, he's going to end up losing the villages over here. Mr. Yo is going to be extremely careful with the Humnita over here, though. Very expensive units he won't really be able to afford replenishing if he loses these, so he's just got to pay attention to his army 100% of the time. Mr. Yo is taking some raiding, yes. He was already on about this amount of workers, and he's able to stabilize for the most part, so it's not too bad. Vinchester is going to try to go for another one. But of course, the more units Vinchester sends forward, the few units he's going to have left to defend himself with. So this could actually end up working in favor of Mr. Yo. We'll see. Great shot with the Hubnitsa over there. And here come the Halberd. Here come the Hubnitsa on the right-hand side. Vinchester keeps on trying to get the raids going. Struggles to get too much damage as Mr. Yo has been able to defend himself successfully. But the blue player seems to be running out of steam at the same time as well. The military lead that he had, which was quite substantial, is not going to be quite as substantial anymore. You take a look, and he's got only about 69 military units right now compared to the 88 that he had a few moments ago. And Vinchester seems like he's going to get to 200 population very soon once again if he's able to bring Mr. Yo's army to similar numbers compared to what he's got to work with. Then Vinchester should be the one left in a better position. But just as I say that though, take a look at this. The goal runs out from Vinchester down the south, so he's got almost nothing left. He's got 2 gold miners over here. And these guys will run out of gold very soon. That's 200 gold left. Up in the north, we don't have any gold over here anymore. And then the only gold left is going to be, by the looks of it, taken by Mr. Yo. And it's going to be about 1600. So this might give Mr. Yo a little bit of momentum that he needs. It might give him the push that he needs to take this one. Let's see. The Halberd still looking very strong against the Hussar. Of course, they are going to come out on top. The hand cannoneer from Vinchester still looking very strong against the Halberd, but they are completely out of position. The vast majority of the hand cannoneer very far away from where the engagement is actually taking place. Now that Mr. Yo is getting access to gold once again, he can go for Hubnitsa again. He can go for hand cannoneer. Should be very good. There we are. Still Mr. Yo. Now he's getting to good numbers once again for military. He's gonna get him 200 population very soon. Oh, and he gets pushed away from the goal again though. Vinchester's not going to let Mr. Yo collect from here uncontested. And while Mr. Yo had some Halberd down the south, they were once again very out of position. It's very hard to keep track of everything that's taking place. As a spectator already, imagine as a player. You gotta defend the goal over here. You gotta keep on trying to make your units forward because the Hubnitsa are still very expensive. Meanwhile, you also have to defend around your base because you have the raids coming out from your opponent. And there's just so much to keep track of. This raid, as you can see, Mr. Yo's just not realizing about. And it's very tragic for the red player because it took him some time to get past 100 villagers over here in the last few minutes. And now he's going to go down right away. And we're going to see even more villages going down. There we go. The Hussar already from Vinchester have taken 14 villagers so far. 15 villagers so far. The pressure from Mr. Yo is not coming through the center anymore. Now he's going to try to start pushing down south, try and take the fortifications from Vinchester down one at a time. So long as Mr. Yo is able to keep military production, he should be able to take this one. He's done a really good job systematically pushing the defenses down from Vinchester. The one problem for Mr. Yo is exactly that, military production, because Vinchester still has a much stronger economy with about 36 extra workers. Mr. Yo needs to take especially good care of his military units because, let's say, he doesn't have to take the castles down. He needs to have still a strong enough military to go forward and actually get the raids going. What use is to take the defenses down if then he won't have anything else to go forward and reap the benefits of striping Vinchester away from his defenses. The red player, on the other hand, has already been taking advantage of the Hussar over here, the potential for raids, despite the fact that Mr. Yo has a lot of fortifications still out, 5 castles around from Mr. Yo. Vinchester has been able to get the most villager kills over here, which just goes to show you don't necessarily need to take everything down necessarily before starting getting the raids. And Vinchester, well, it's gonna go forward once again. It's gotta be careful. There's a lot of Halberd everywhere from Mr. Yo. This time around, it seems like the Bull player will finally be able to clean this up. Yeah, there we go. Spikes from Yo actually a decent choice. Well, yeah, they get 25% higher bonus damage. So they completely flatten the Azar from Vinchester. And Vinchester, on the other hand, not so much. But it's going to be a good meat chill for him to work out of it with a hand cannoneer, right? However few he's got left. And who is taking this one? Mr. Yo's been able to get some momentum over here slowly in the last few minutes. But Vinchester has been the one with the strongest economy for the vast majority of the game. You take a look at this gather economy time. And that is almost a full extra day of gather economy time for Vinchester over here. Damn. Right now, 16 extra hours. Here come the Huvnita. Mr. Yo will end up running out of gold very soon. When we are out of gold, then Mr. Yo is going to have 3 relics to work with. Vinchester is going to have 2. And Vinchester is still going to have a stronger economy, although Mr. Yo is trying to do his best to mitigate that and catch up in work count as well. Finally getting past 100 villagers once again. Wood game? Could be. Mr. Yo, because of all the fortifications he's got, should be able to hold on to the vast majority of the extra resource over here, so it's not bad. Hard stretch to catch. You're doing good though. Ah, thank you. Yeah, usually in these situations, like kind of stagnant games, it's pretty hard to provide commentary for these. But the players are giving me material, so not too much of a struggle for sure. More Huvnita coming in, Mr. Yo. Mr. Yo is running out of gold in the next few seconds. And Vinchester has got more Hussar coming in. Now it's gonna start making a play for Pikeman, and this is not a misclick. You can see that he's got a bunch queued up. But is it going to work though? Mr. Yo, once again, his army composition on paper should be stronger. He just needs to take care of the units and not lose the Huvnita like that. He still has 2 left. Actually, not really sure what the second one is. Oh, right here, down the south. But at this point in time, it seems to me like it would be better for Mr. Yo. Yeah, he's going for a siege workshop over here. It'd be better for Mr. Yo to go and just take the TCs down and get Raiden Man, because so far, and up until very recently, he's just been trying to take the defenses from Vinchester down before getting the raids going. And it's delayed him quite a lot. Vinchester, despite the huge amount of fortifications Mr. Yo still has up, has been able to get a lot of damage done himself, as you can see from the Eco KD. So Mr. Yo's got to be a little bit more forward, you know, a little bit more up front. He's gonna need to go and try to put some pressure already. It's pretty difficult. But I think he should be in a pretty good spot. Because of all the defenses he already has back home, I think it'll be very strong for Mr. Yo to just group his entire army and go for one big push at the center, as opposed to scatter his army around like this. Because he's already been trying to play defensive against Vinchester by having Halberdier everywhere, and Vinchester still being able to get villages down anyway. So Mr. Yo got all his units together, and then he started going forward. And he had one big push coming through the center, and it became kind of a base trade. How does Vinchester ever get a better base trade than Mr. Yo when Mr. Yo still has 5 castles? Still has 4 TCs around the map. He shouldn't. Yeah, and you're exactly onto something, right? Vinchester is just pulling the halberdier from Mr. Yo around the map forever with a few Hussar. Very, very cheap for Vinchester to kind of keep Mr. Yo's army extremely inefficient. Now, this is a little bit better. You can see that Mr. Yo is actually trying to group his army up a little bit more, at the very least by the looks of it. Once again, he's got to be careful, though. And he's going again for the fortifications! You know, he might be able to take the castle down in the end. He might be able to get the raids going over here, but this has just been so slow from Mr. Yo, and he's given Vinchester so much time. And the problem is that every time that Mr. Yo is trying to take the fortifications down over here, he's not taking any economy from Vinchester. He's just waiting for the fortifications to go down before getting the raids going. While Vinchester has not cared, just keeps on getting more and more villagers every time. Find out this castle's going down, and while I still think Mr. Yo is looking better over here, I feel like he probably made this game a little bit harder than it needed to be for himself. Definitely a lot slower than it needed to be for himself, and we only have one fortification left for Vinchester. Let me take a look at Mr. Yo to see if he knows about it. Yeah, he does. This castle, come on man, it's not protecting anything. From this point onwards, I'd be surprised if Mr. Yo did anything other than just going for one full push. Through the center, right? Working counts about the same for both these players. Military counts about the same for both these players for the first time. Mr. Yo's been able to catch up. And from this point onwards, well, it really depends on the unit control of the players, because Vinchester's going to be going for Hussar, right? These are fully upgraded for the Hindustanis. While Mr. Yo won't be going for cavalry. He does not get bloodlines. I mean, he can go for light cavalry over here, but it's not going to be the strongest. However, he does have extra bonus damage from Halberdier, which means he should be able to defend just fine. And because he's got Halberdier right now, Vinchester has not gotten the upgrade. Mr. Yo could very well, yeah, end up... Oh, wait a moment. Hold on, let me take a look at something. Yeah, we do not get Halberdier for Hindustan. Just want to double check that. The Halberdier raid would actually be very, very effective for Mr. Yo. Yeah. So it's going around. He's roaming around, guys. Hey, Prakita. Hi, welcome. Stables in the way for Mr. Yo. Okay, with Bohemians. Alright. I actually like the Halberdier. The Halberdier raid over here. I think it's going to be very effective for Mr. Yo. You can see that Vinchester has been taking a few villager losses now. He's gone down to 105 villagers, which opens up extra population space for him to go, of course, for more military. A lot of skirmishes over here. Not too many Halberdier left for Mr. Yo. Beautiful. Vinchester is gonna keep on trying to make the Hussar work, and he will be able to do it. Where does Mr. Yo have wood from still? The right hand side. Yeah, so he needs to defend the woodlands over here that are not defended by castles. Over here at the center, for instance, he already took all the woodlands around castles, right? So he needs to keep a few Halberdier. Like over here, the castle's already going to provide defenses. Over here, the castle's already going to provide defenses. Up in the north, he is completely exposed, so he needs Halberdier over here. Potentially down the south as well. And then he can focus on pushing. Let's get some villages down though, Vinchester. Yeah, well, now taking a few losses over here, gets pushed away from the wood, and this might actually come down to it in the end. Yeah, just classic Arabia wood game. Vinchester, of course, won't really be able to do much of anything against the lumberjacks over here, so long as we have a castle up. Here comes Mr. Yo. 92 workers. He's going for a few more as well, but he's got plenty of extra resources to keep on going for Halberdier. And it's gonna be full halberdier for Mr. Yo. Is not interested in going for skirmishers whatsoever. Yeah, and in the end, well, the majority of the villagers do go down to the Hussar over here, though. Well, that was good for Vinchester in the end, but Mr. Yo's push can still be very, very strong. At the center's got more halberdier moving forward. Down the south, we have for the most part skirmishers, though. He's really suffering. Struggling right now. But he's got enough resources and enough units queued up to get the 200 population. It's just that production potential is not quite as high. He doesn't have quite the infrastructure he needs. You take a look at Mr. Yo's barracks count. It's got just 7. He's got 72 halberdier. Gives from 7 barracks, of course, and he's got plenty of resources to go for extra barracks. He's just not gone for it. Vinchester's being much better able to keep a good amount of military units out himself. Yeah, definitely would like to see Mr. Yo go for extra barracks and start selling the halberdier for. He definitely should have been able to, at the very least, bring Vinchester down to a comparable worker count. For the time being, though, the red player is certainly giving Mr. Yo a run for his money, despite the military count looking lower for Vinchester. His worker count is a little bit higher. And Mr. Yo is bringing some light cavalry. Alright. Alright, 73 workers for Mr. Yo, yes. 99 workers for Vinchester, 100 now. Mr. Yo still on 50. Halberdier queued. Well, Vinchester's kind of struggling though. It's a very low population for Vinchester. Almost half the military compared to Mr. Yo. He's able to keep on queuing the units. Take a look at that. Vinchester's going for villagers. Now he's going to queue a bunch of skirmishers. And you were onto something earlier when you said this might be a wood game. When we still had gold around the map. You are actually not completely off, of course, and that seems like it's going to be the case for the most part. Now, this is beautiful for Mr. Yo. Going for the TC over here is going to give him so much in terms of protection. Obviously, he cannot really go for a castle, and TC is just going to need to buy 100 stone for. And this will give him access to this extra wood. This is not going to be secure just yet. Then besides the right-hand side wood, we have this one, right? And we have some over here that Vinchester is going to collect from, and Vinchester is going to run out of wood very soon, guys. And if you take a look at the wood pile from both these players, Mr. Yo is looking stronger. He's got a lot of extra wood in the bank. Vinchester will need to keep on collecting wool over here from the left-hand side. And Mr. Yo is trying to push right now, trying to get some momentum. Has another hoof Nita. It's very slow. He should be able to keep on going for the units, of course, in the end. He does have 3 relics, mind you. So TC might go down. Probably not the location he wants to raid. He wants to raid around the woods, not around the farms. But he does end up taking the TC down in any case, potentially exposing the rest of the farmers. Left-hand side, or at the center rather. Towards the left, we see Mr. Yo's raid. And this is fantastic. This is what I'm talking about. He needs to go up to the lumberjacks. Vinchester is dropping a lot of villages over here. It's gonna go down to 100 villages very soon. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo's movement over here is looking so good. 110 military for Mr. Yo. Vinchester was successful at taking villages down earlier in the game by going forward with the Hussar in the end. That's going to free up more population space for Mr. Yo to get to 200 population with a scary army count. What do you do in Vinchester's position with 42 military units against over 110 from Mr. Yo? Well, we have a good amount of resources for Vinchester. He struggles to repop indeed, to replenish his population, and Mr. Yo seems to be just fine and staying on 200 population, still has 36. Half of the year queued up. So long as he doesn't start losing a lot of units very quickly, he should be able to stay at 200 population. Up in the north, we see the half of the year. Pushing Vinchester away as well. Vinchester was collecting wood from here too. He ends up getting cleaned up over there. Ends up getting pushed away from here. And, well, the red player doesn't really have access to wood anymore, does he? It says over here that he's got 14 lumberjacks, but I don't see the wood count coming out. So I think he's got villagers with the lumberjack role, but they are not actively working. Yeah. Just losing resources at this point. But it seems like Yo has it. We're starting to get Andre versus Rubenstock flashbacks from this game. I know, right? But Mr. Yo is looking much stronger over here. Vinchester is very soon to drop under the 100 population threshold. I usually see players calling the GG in these very long games after. And to be completely honest, given the amount of military that Vinchester can see Mr. Yo has to work with, wouldn't be surprised if Vinchester just called the GG well before getting to the 100 population. Mr. Yo's momentum over here is too strong. And it was a matter of getting a centralized push over here, right? Mr. Yo recognized it. He capitalized on it. He's patient enough to get a good amount of military to get an unstoppable push. And now Vinchester, well, he keeps on trying a little bit. I mean, he's got more Hussar coming out, but what is he going to do against the halberdier from Mr. Yo? 25% higher bonus damage is not gonna do anything because, guys, Mr. Yo takes game number 5 to get a 3-2 final score against Vinchester with a great final game in the series after the players traded blows pretty evenly up until this point. Mr. Yo will crown himself the victor in the show match, banking $2,000. Well, Vinchester is going to take home $1,300. Well played for Mr. Yo. Well played by Vinchester as well. No shame going down to Mr. Yo in a best of 5 series going the distance over here. Vinchester definitely goes down swinging. Let's go through the achievements one final time. What do we get? Well, we'll see for military, a better KD for Mr. Yo, approaching a 5 to 4 KD ratio. A much stronger economy for Vinchester. In the end, it does not suffice though. See, about 32,500 extra resources for Vinchester. My quick maths are correct. And for society, a higher villager max count for Vinchester. We saw this earlier. But also, he ended up on the lowest villagers towards the end of the game. He did not lose anywhere near as many villagers as Mr. Yo though, while the red player ended up losing so many extra villagers over here, about 162 villagers, if I'm not mistaken, while Vinchester, on the other hand, ended up losing 108 villagers only. When you say 108 villagers only, you know that the losses have been so much greater, right? Regardless though, well played. Vinchester takes a 1. Vinchester